on Gaza since the war began. More than 90 Palestinians were killed and 300 injured on Saturday in Al-Mawasi, an area Israel had designated as safe. Its fighter jets and drones unleashed a barrage of missiles and bombs, obliterating tents that sheltered thousands of displaced families. As the death toll rises and the humanitarian crisis deepens, there are serious questions about Israel's military conduct and the protection of civilians. We'll get to our guests in a moment, but first, this report from Axel Zaimovich.
It was supposed to be a sanctuary, but instead witnessed a horrific bloodbath. Israeli jets and drones struck tents sheltering thousands of displaced Palestinians in Al-Mawasi. There was no evacuation order.
I was sitting safely in my tent when suddenly the tents around me and this building were hit. We started running. I got out of the tent and ran on the streets. The bombardment was ongoing. We came here where this street begins. It had also been hit. The whole street was full of bodies and body parts.
Emergency workers are among the injured. Witnesses say Israeli forces waited for rescue crews to arrive before targeting them. These are the conditions in which Palestinians are transporting hundreds of injured to nearby Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis. Doctors can no longer cope with the influx of casualties.
We started receiving tens of cases in a few minutes while we are suffering from lack of supplies and instruments. We are nearly lack of everything inside the hospital here.
Israel says Mohammed Daif, head of Hamas's military wing, was the intended target. Hamas says that's false and baseless. Al-Mawasi is a narrow strip of land between Khan Yunis and Rafah, where hundreds of thousands of Palestinians are living in dire conditions. The Israeli army designated it as a so-called humanitarian area, meant to be protected under international law. But just like other areas Israel had claimed were safe, it's been repeatedly bombarded.
We have had this situation over and over in Shejaiya, in Rafah, Derbala, Jabalia, Nusayra, over and over. Israel could kill literally everyone in the Gaza Strip. So far, it has killed nearly 40,000 people with this argument that it was targeting Hamas combatants. But by now, all Hamas combatants should be dead. And instead, what we find is a population which is being starved, genocided, through modern means of warfare with total impunity.
Families have buried their loved ones. Many are still missing, believed to be trapped under the rubble. The UN says the claim that safe zones exist in Gaza is false and misleading. The latest strike in Al-Mawasi proves once again that nowhere in Gaza is truly safe. Axel Zaimovich, Al Jazeera, for Inside Story.